Welcome to the Print Live. The big news of the day: have Indian elections been rigged since 2014? Are EVMs in India hackable? Can they be tampered with? Where is this news coming from? Remember, someone who calls himself a cyber expert who has sought political asylum allegedly in the US since 2014, someone called Syed Shuja, held a press conference in London yesterday. The press conference was organized by the Foreign Press Association and the Indian Journalists Association. In the press conference, Saeed made some very wild allegations that were not necessarily corroborated. Let me run you through very quickly what all he said. He said every election in India since 2014 has been rigged irrespective of its outcome. So whether or not the BJP has won, the election and the EVMs have been tampered with, and basically questioning the sanctity of the electoral process as a whole in the country. The other thing he said was that it was the BJP tech experts who were involved in this rigging. BJP has been the biggest beneficiary of the rigging in elections in India since 2014. This, he said, they have managed to do with the help of Reliance Jio, because Reliance apparently has the network to sort of rig elections and tamper EVMs. According to this person, it is not just the BJP which sought to misuse this power. Congress, SP, BSP, AAP, etc., every political party that one can think of has approached him allegedly to sort of ensure that the election results are in their favor. According to Syed, every election that BJP has not won has happened because of the so-called efforts of his team, because they have tried to inverse rig the elections in order to ensure that BJP does not win those elections. So some really, really wild allegations there. In what can be seen as an attempt to give a communal color to these allegations, Syed also said that several people of his team, several people who are Muslims from his team, were killed by a BJP leader in Hyderabad who he has not named, and then a communal situation was created in order to give the impression that this was a case of a communal incident. According to him, he also said that that late BJP leader Gopinath Munde had knowledge of rigging of elections in India, and because the powers that be got to know about this, they sort of got him killed. Now, these are the allegations that Syed has made. Now, who is Syed really? We do not know. He said he was an ex-employee of the ECIL, which is the Electronic Corporation of India Limited. This is basically the agency that really makes EVMs, designs EVMs in India. He said he worked as a team member of the ECIL from 2009 to 14, and he was involved in designing EVMs that were used in the 2014 elections. ECIL on its part has categorically stated that they have nothing to do with this man. They do not know who he is. One can say that this is something that he predicted that would happen. So in the press conference itself, Syed said that, you know what, I'm going to say all these things today, and tomorrow both ECI and ECIL, ECI stands for, of course, Election Commission of India, will deny my very existence. And ECIL has done just that. They have said that we do not know this man and we do not know his credentials at all. The Election Commission of India, predictably perhaps, has taken very strong exception to these allegations made by Syed. They have, in fact, news just coming in, they have written to the DCP in New Delhi requesting for lodging an FIR to investigate the matter, and they are exploring criminal provisions in the IPC to basically book this person. Now, of course, a political slugfest has ensued since this press conference. Don't forget, former Union Minister Kapil Sibal, Congress leader, was present at the press conference, and that really led to several allegations by BJP leaders, including Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, saying that Congress was behind this attempt to malign the Election Commission of India and the electoral process in India at an international forum. The BJP has said that this is a very cheap sort of an attempt by the Congress just in the run-up to 2019 Lok Sabha elections malign both the BJP and the country as a whole. Congress, for its part, remember, has distanced itself from this entire controversy. They've said that Kapil Sibal went to the press conference in his personal capacity and he just accepted an invitation that came from a journalist. And the allegations that were made in the press conference in no way reflect the stand of the Congress party. Now remember, it was the Foreign Press Association and the Indian Journalists Association that had, which were behind this press conference that was held in London yesterday. Interestingly, today, after so much drama has ensued after this on this issue, the Foreign Press Association has strongly dissociated itself from any claims made by Syed. They have said that not one claim that he has made has been corroborated, and therefore they would like to distance themselves from this. I'll be taking a few questions. Don't forget to send in your questions on this topic that has basically caught the imagination of a lot of people, considering we are going to go in for polls just in a few months. Remember that within a few days or maybe maximum a few weeks, election dates for the 2019 Lok Sabha elections are going to be announced in the country. So it's a really sensitive time at which this press conference is coming. My first question that I already have deals with this issue of timing. What does the timing of the press conference say? Does it indicate a political strategy? Well, if the BJP were to believe, of course, this does seem like a political strategy. It is no coincidence, they say, that such a senior leader of the Congress party, Kapil Sibal, was present there. And of course, as I mentioned, we are going to have the election dates announced very soon. So if this man had all this knowledge since 2014, then why did it take him 5 years and really the coming of the next general elections in the country to speak up? So one does sniff some kind of political conspiracy, if not political conspiracy, some compulsive conspiracy of questioning the electoral process, of questioning the functioning of EVMs in India. Remember, those who in the past have questioned the tamperability of EVMs and have said that they are being hacked to favor the BJP have also distanced themselves from Syed's claims because they just appear to be too wild. Now, I have another question. If all political parties approach this man, what does it say about the sanctity of the democratic process in India? Well, as I mentioned, Syed in his press conference did not, while he said that the BJP has been the biggest beneficiary of this widespread massive rigging of elections in India, every other party, including the Congress, including AAP, including BSP, including SP, have approached him to rig elections in their favor. Now, remember, these are the parties, in fact, that have in the past questioned the credibility of EVMs, have questioned the credibility of the Election Commission of India several times over. So for this man to say that all these parties themselves had approached him and his team members to rig elections in their favor, really then one asks, what is left of the sanctity of the electoral process? Then this is a man who is questioning the entire basis of India's democracy, sitting in the US and not divulging much about himself. Predictably, when we spoke to our sources in the Election Commission, they're livid. They're saying that how can this man, how can any man whose identity, whose credibility cannot be corroborated, just sit somewhere in the US and make all these wild allegations and get so much media time, press time, and so much time of politicians, so much time of the Election Commission. They are extremely livid because this, remember, strikes at the heart of the Indian democracy, strikes at the very heart of of a very credible Indian institution like the Election Commission of India. Do allegations like these have an impact on the psyche of voters? Well, this was perhaps meant to be, this entire press conference was expected or anticipated to be an embarrassment for the BJP. People must have expected that, this man is going to come and show, give a demo of exactly how an EVM can be hacked, and the BJP will be left red-faced. Exactly the opposite happened. It's the Congress which is left embarrassed because of the presence of Kapil Sibal. And most people really are laughing this matter off and not really believing or giving much weight to the claims made by Syed. However, even if there are 10, 100, 1,000 voters who do feel that the value of the vote that they give on election day is somehow diminished by these allegations made by this man, it does do some damage to the very idea of Indian elections and of the much hailed electoral process in India. The presence of Kapil Sibal, does it show that the Congress is behind it? Well, as I said, that the Congress party officially has distanced itself. They have said that unless any of these allegations can be corroborated with evidence, with very, very strong evidence, they will not sort of throw their weight behind these allegations. But given that, as I mentioned earlier, that a former union minister, a very senior leader from the Congress was present at the press conference, if nothing else really, it has given more ammunition to the BJP to attack the Congress and say that, what, you are the ones who are maligning India and who are maligning the Indian electoral process at an international forum. What about the communal color given to this entire controversy? As I mentioned, there was an attempt, perhaps deliberate, to give this entire controversy a communal color. Syed said that his team members, which consisted of 10 or 12 other members at ECIL, several of them were Muslim, and a lot of them were shot dead. All of them actually were shot dead by a BJP leader in Hyderabad. So really an attempt to give this a communal color has been made, and this is not something that the BJP will miss. They will use this as another sort of argument to attack the Congress. I will be taking a few more questions. Just 1 second. We have questions from YouTube. If EVMs can be hacked, then won't it be possible to swing election in your favor with VVPAT option available? Now, see, VVPAT is no alternative to the EVM. VVPATs are basically, the full form of VVPATs is voter verified paper audit trails. They are used not as a substitute for EVMs, but as a supplement to the EVMs. Every time you cast your vote through the EVM, and the VVPAT basically is a slip that appears for no more than 10 seconds, which basically shows the name of the party for which you've, or the candidate for which you have cast your vote. So this is basically a way for people to know that EVMs are not tampered with, that the party that you voted for is the party that your vote has actually gone for. And after much questions were raised about the credibility of the EVMs, the Election Commission of India came up with this entire idea of VVPATs, and so it's no substitute. We have a question from Amin Akhtar. Is there any possibility that to happen election this year without EVM? Well, the Election Commission of India on several occasions has said very categorically that there is no way that India will be going back to the ballot paper, no matter how much noise is made by opposition parties, by people like Syed, whose credibility cannot be sort of corroborated in any way. The Election Commission of India is very clear on this matter, that EVMs are here to stay and they are not tamperable at all, and they cannot be hacked at all. This is a controversy that we can expect to play out, to continue to play out for the coming few days or maybe months till India goes to polls in very shortly. This is something that we will keep following very closely at The Print. Thanks for watching. We'll take up your questions on text. Thanks.